before we get into it, did you actually know that you can speak to this bot and he will answer you?
I did not know that. I'm afraid to do it.
You try it out, man. You know, be my guest.
Craig!
Can't believe you fell for that, man. Of course he doesn't respond.
Craig! Hey, you don't know? They got, like, robots now that... They got cars that drive themselves. I think it was a completely reasonable thing to believe.
This is true, but Discord can barely, like, run a VC as it is.
Hey, I don't know. They got crazy... They got crazy... People are crazy. They can do anything.
This is true, man. But, you know, I appreciate you coming on the Trash Talk podcast. A bit of an informal start. But I've got to ask... What's going on? I've got to ask, have you been on any other podcasts before?
Yeah, I've been on, so I founded a podcast before, actually. I founded, originally the Unturned podcast.
Yeah.
That went on, I ended up leaving it because I had a, little bit of a squabble with the guy I was co-hosting with. So I left, but that was a very successful show. It was like the biggest podcast for Unturned the game, like ever. So I did that. Now I have my own Dead Zone, the Dead Zone podcast. I've done 6 episodes so far. I did the first 3 were like, it was back when it was called Ziza Spectacle, and I had it on my main channel, but then I rebranded it, moved it to another channel, re-uploaded the first 3 episodes, and then I've done 3 since then. I did one with Gokunaru, then I did one with the Duper Trooper, and then I did one with Kian Bros. That's the guy suing Mojang, actually. So I've done a few. But I like podcasts, actually. Bro, I want to do more. I do more. I saw you did one with Epic, so I'm like, man, let me get on this one because I don't be getting any invites. Let me just ask. I'll go on there.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, like I saw you go on. I think it was Advil stream, right? Literally yesterday.
Oh yeah, I was on there.
Yeah, you know, I put you down on my list of the podcast stuff, and you reached out anyway. So, you know, I had no work to do. You did all my work for me, which is very appreciated. But just on like podcasts and stuff, like, you know, you mentioned you've got a podcast, Dead Zone and stuff. Is that something that you want to do more of? Like, take that, you know, into like a further direction? Because I'm just looking at like how often, like, you know, you post on that. Is that something you want to do more of? Like, what is the situation with that podcast?
So pretty much, I'm just locked in on the main channel for the most part. So I have a few channels actually, but you know, I just focus on zman1064 for the most part. That's where everyone is. That's where I dedicate most of my time. But I do I do shit on other channels. I got a second channel where I did some like rant videos and stuff like that. They were pretty good. I took them down though because I wanted the second channel to be like kind of vlog type of stuff. That's what I wanted to do with that. Dead Zone, I'd like to do it more. I originally honestly wanted to do it monthly, maybe at some point even weekly, but I'm waiting to get kind of more established, get some more. I'll be honest, it's just the only problem I have is the currency, you know. It's a little expensive to hit because the Duper Trooper episode, that's how I want to do all the podcasts. But the problem is if you watch that episode, we're in like a whole studio. Like I got a whole studio for it. Like it was a legit podcast. Like it was professionally. Yeah. That's how I'd like to do them. That's expensive to do. And that podcast doesn't make any money. So I pretty much did it out of pocket just because Duper was in town. And I'm like, fuck it, we could do it. I got the contact for this guy. I think his name was Bill or something. Very chill. Very cool guy. He got me he gave me a discount for some time in his studio. He has like a whole studio, so it was pretty cool. And that's where we filmed it. But yeah, I'd like to do more of it, but I've just been a bit, you know, I've been a bit busy with the YouTube and all that. So, but I would like to do it. And I'm down to go on any podcast, anyone that wants to invite me. I'm down anywhere, anyone, anytime. It doesn't matter.
Well, like podcasts are like a pretty like hefty thing to run, right? Like you, I've got like my fair share of channels, right? Like different commentary ones, shorts, like, you know, ones on like TV shows and all that other stuff. And then a podcast on top of that, right? Really hard to run, even just on Discord, let alone like trying to do it in an actual studio somewhere where you get
Right.
actual people there. It's a lot to run, right? You got to think
Right.
about, inviting the guests, time zones, scheduling, all that lovely stuff. I
Yep.
mean, for you more, probably it's maybe a little bit easier. For me,
Yeah, a
it's
little
a
bit.
bitch to time zone and schedule because, like, me being in the UK. I get it. It's a struggle to run a podcast, especially when you've got a big YouTube channel, big focus on your main channel. Doing a
Yeah.
podcast at the side of that, very time consuming, especially if it's not monetized. You're putting a lot in for very little reward in that aspect. So
Yeah.
I do get it, man.
No, you get it. I mean, it's cool
yeah.
though to do it like that. I do a lot of stuff just to do it, not for.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't,
for sure.
like I don't do it for money.
Mhm.
I never have. I do make money off of it. It pays my rent. I mean, it's good, but I've never put that above actually making something like of value, I think, because that's the problem everyone on the website has today with YouTube. The problem with the website is no one does it for the joy, I think, anymore. Everyone just does it for the money, and it just kind of brings the quality of everything down. So I'm trying to do it like the old school way type of thing, where it's good. I want to just do it the right way as opposed to doing it the easy way.
No, I get that, man.
Everyone does it the easy way. I mean, I'll watch like all these other creators I watch or I see skit like little bits of. It's like they're all the same guy. It feels like sometimes I wonder if there's one guy running 20 channels or something. Like I would believe it at this point. You could AI your voice, sound like someone else. Like I wouldn't be surprised if someone was running like because these channels, like I swear, all of them are just the same shit.
Well, like, there's no personality in a lot of the content anymore, right? Like, nobody's making
No,
jokes, just that personal element which makes a video, an actual YouTube video, instead of, the actual term, like, the actual terminology that should be used, and this is how it should be used, is, that slop content, where there's just no personality,
yeah.
nothing there, it is just churning. A lot of people say that slop is just, content that's like daily type of stuff. I disagree. You make daily content and it can be good, like, funny, enjoyable.
Right.
I see that slop type of stuff, like the content you're talking about there, right? Where
Right.
this could be made by 800 different people. There's no personal element on
It
top
could
of
be
that.
made by one person, and it could be 800
Yeah.
channels. Like you can't even tell who's who anymore. Like there's no originality anymore. It feels in a lot of content
no uniqueness.
being posted. No,
Yeah.
not at all. So I try to be unique, but I don't try to overdo it because I feel like if you try too hard, like then it's obvious, like you're a try hard, like you're trying, like, oh, he wants to be different so bad. Like it's not like that. It's just I don't want to be boring, like everybody.
Yeah.
Like, well, not everybody, but a lot of people out there. I'm sorry, a lot of them. Like you guys got to fucking lock in because this shit. I be watching this stuff and it's just like. I don't even remember the guy's name after I watch it. That's a problem. If you're making a video and people don't remember you after watching it, it's not memorable and it's not a good video.
Yeah. And I also think as well, like, that always depends on like what genre and what niche you're in, right? Like what content like you're making. Especially in the content that you make and the genre that you make, if you're watching their video and then you go away not knowing their name, you're in big fucking trouble, right? You've done something seriously fucking wrong. Because as I was speaking to like the Mr. Epic about, right? Like I was speaking to Mr. Epic about people within your genre. There isn't loads of them, right? There isn't like an abundance of content creators. There isn't like hundreds of them doing the stuff that you do.
Right.
So if you walk away not knowing that content creator's name or not have laughed or not have gained something from that video, that content creator's kind of fucked up a little bit in terms of what they're putting out there.
No, like this is my advice to anybody that wants to do YouTube. What you should try to do is you should try to have a good sub to channel view ratio. Mm-hmm. Your channel subscribers and the amount of views you should have should be like, you should try to keep them as close as possible. Because that means the most amount of subscribers at an amount of views. And it's like, how do you do that? You do it by actually like making the video good. you have to try. To do that, you have to try. And a lot of people don't try. They just want the quick way. But the problem with the quick way, I mean, I think we even saw this with Dream. He had like the biggest rise of all time, was like the biggest creator for the game. He blew up in like record time. Like it was this where is he now? Where'd Dream go? Where is he now? We haven't even heard from him. We don't even know what happened to him. He fell off the face of the earth. Why? Because he was like, yeah, it worked, but it's not memorable. That's why my career currently is like, it's been longer than his. I think I've been on YouTube longer, and yeah, I haven't had nearly as much success as him, but I think I'd rather have what I have now than have that, because yeah, he blew up. He's probably rich, right? But like now is like everyone hates him, and you know, he's not like a likable guy for a lot of people, and you know, some people even want to do him harm, which I think is like insane. But you know, some people take the block game really seriously, right? So but how do you avoid that? By trying and actually trying to make good stuff, and trying to, and also to reward your audience. Be good to them, because they give you they give you the opportunity to do this. So you should respect them, and that's another thing that people don't understand. A lot of people, they like when they get a lot of when they get a big following, they like their ego expands, they get high off their own supply, and then they just like start making really stupid decisions. So sorry if that was a bit of a rant.
No, it's all good, man. Get off your chest, man. It's all good. Yeah,
I was fucking, dude, I had a little bit of reefer before the episode. I'm like, man, I should do that podcast right now.
It's all good, man. You know, get off all your chest, right? We'll pad out the episode. It's all good, man. And I also think like a key element of it, right, is about the people you surround yourself with, especially as a content creator, right?
Oh yeah,
you surround yourself with people that are, you know, driven by money, by certain other things,
man.
right? You're way more likely to fuck up or be driven by that type of thing. I think again, using the example of Dream, I think that's where he kind of fucked up, right? It's the large majority of people he was surrounded with are fucking weirdos, right? They're deranged. I mean, even someone like Tommy. I've got very strong feelings on Tommy. I don't like the guy.
You don't like him?
No, I do not like him.
What's the deal with him? Because I'm not too familiar with him. I know he exists. I actually saw him even at I went to VidCon. He was there.
Yeah.
He was a panel guest. Obviously, I'm not a guest anywhere, but he was a guest, and I saw that. I was there. We were kind of trolling him. Like, my boy Reese, when Tommy Innit came up on stage, he fucking saw me, and then he yelled this as loud as he could. And keep in mind, this is like a room with like, I don't even know how many people are in this room, but he just says it as loud as he can. Oh my gosh, it's Dream. And it was the funniest shit, because I swear he looked like he didn't react. Obviously, Tommy didn't full react, but you could tell he heard it, because he fucking went. He like looked to like he like did a little glance in the direction that was sad, and I think he saw my boy Reese. I swear that's what I remember. It was so funny. But that's all. I mean, that's the only interaction I've had with him. So I don't know. So what's the deal with him? Like, is he like a faker? Is he not who he says he is, or what's the deal?
Well, my issues with him kind of come from, not only is he like incredibly obsessed with Dream, right, and it's kind of like a one rule for me, one rule for them type thing, right? It's like I can talk about Dream as much as I want, but as soon as he like mentions me, right, I'm gonna kick up a fuss, which is not a big deal, right? But when you're making like a lot of your points against somebody, right, you come across as like incredibly hypocritical. But one of my major things against him is his use of the false like George Not Found allegations against Dream and all the other people, drilling home like the Dream's a groomer constantly 24/7, which, you know, I think it's different. Like, that's you made a joke about Dream being like a pedo, right? And then one of his former friends, like 24/7, you know, like, you know, in the majority of videos and stuff, and then him not feeling any remorse. Him over exaggerating like Dream messaging his mum and all this other type of stuff. It's like, don't get me wrong, I think Dream is a heavily criticizable guy, and even with the Tommy stuff. But just how Tommy Innett's been the past few months, I think, you know, if you really look into the situation, you know, you're watching stuff, and there's a lot to watch, right? So I don't blame anyone that hasn't. You definitely come up with the outlook that Tommy Innett's probably worse and a lot less mature, because, you know,
well, isn't he like
pedo jokes? So, you know.
How old is Tommy Innit? Not that age is an excuse, but I am curious.
I think he's in his 20s now. 21 now.
Wait, let me look this up. Wait, I'm older than this kid?
Just settling in.
No way. Wait, hold on. Wait, he was born April 19th, 2004. He just turned 21, I think, like a few days ago, actually, because it's April right now. It was 10 days ago. That's kind of funny. Huh. Weird.
Yeah. Strange guy. Pretty, like, you know.
To me, it's just trippy that there's people that are big right now that I'm older than. That was never a thing before. I remember all the big people were like, "Oh, dude, I'm Unk now, dude." They call me Unk at my house. It's so fucked up.
Well, it's lockdown, man. Lockdown like spot on like loads of like younger content creators, people that were like 14, 15, 16, especially TikTok as well, YouTube Shorts as well now. Definitely building a demographic of a lot younger content creators.
I can't stand short form.
I don't blame you. I dabble in my short form, but I don't blame people for not liking it.
I can't stand it.
I think it comes down to like someone's perspective on short form. Is that like I 100% get why people don't like short form, right? I don't like TikTok. I hate it. I will like post on YouTube Shorts and use that to my benefit. I don't watch short form very often. I might post on it, I might use it, but myself, I can't watch that type of stuff. I would much rather watch a movie, TV show, YouTube, like an actual long form video of that type of stuff.
Well, I mean, short form is good, but it's like, well, it's not. Let me rephrase. Short form, I get the appeal, but you're not watching it for any specific reason. It's literally just you're bored.
Yeah, doom scrolling.
Let's just flip it on. It's like flipping on the TV and like surfing the channels. This is what people used to do back in the day. This has always been a thing. Like there's just been there's a demand for entertainment just in general. There's a demand for entertainment, but I think the problem with shorts and the problem with first of all, short form like destroyed how it kind of. It just makes these random fucks like huge, but they're not famous. You'll have a guy. I remember there was this guy. He like broke the record. You see, what's crazy is I don't even remember his name because he's not famous. But his account got like 20 million followers in like a week on YouTube or something through shorts. I think then his channel got deleted. Actually, I'm not sure what happened, but like no one knew him, right? So it's like. It just doesn't make sense. Like when I started doing YouTube, to me, the whole point is it's just I just don't get why people want to do this like just for I don't know. It just doesn't to me I can't even like put into words. It just doesn't compute how someone could want. You have the ability to post whatever you want. You have like some rules, but you can put any entertainment you want. Fuck TV, fuck all these fucking institutions and all the entertainment. Anybody can be an entertainer now. This is how it is, right? But I just don't get how some people take that opportunity and they turn it into this cheap thing that lasts 20 seconds. Like you've got like a fucking real opportunity here and you just want money. It's just lame. It's just not. You're not gonna get bitches either if you just blow up off of some brain rot. Like you're gonna show that, and people are gonna be like people give you a look when I think you do short. It depends on what kind of shorts though. There are some good shorts. There's educational and stuff. I think Vsauce. If I had to pick one person that I think does shorts good, it's Vsauce Michael. He does it good. Because his is actually like he has little short facts anyway in his video, so it's perfect for a little short form. Like, hey, this is something cool. Like you could do that. Like I'm not saying I don't want to fully demonize shorts because I think it is a good medium, but a lot the way people are doing it, it's like stop being cheap. Everyone needs to stop being so cheap. Everyone's just a cheapskate. Everyone's like a Mr. Krabs. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense to me. That's just sorry if I keep ranting about it. This is the one thing that annoys me about the website today is everyone's just a cheapskate. Everyone's just a cheapskate.
Yeah.
Like actually try, and I promise you will get way better results than if you just posted some brain rot. I swear.
Well, like
it'll be way more worth it.
Yeah, I mean, my perspective on it, right, is that like I 100% get why, like for example, like you, right, passion driven, right? You want to make the best content that you can because you enjoy it, right? You want to make content that not only you enjoy but the audience enjoys, right? Very
Right.
passion driven in that terms of respect. For me, when I started making videos, not only was it passion, but I also wanted to like I wanted to hit a goal, right? I set myself goals, so 100,000. That was what I was driven by that, and that I wanted to make the best content, right, that I possibly could in that
Yeah.
moment, right?
Hmm.
But I'm surrounded by a few people that not necessarily are driven just by money, but that's very much an element, right? Is
Right.
making rent. This is what I want to do. I don't care too much. I want to make the best content I possibly can, but money is like a huge element of that, right? That I want to make the best content I can to make as much money as possible. And I get both sides, right? I 100% get why, like you, for example,
Yeah,
might
I
not
get it
like
too.
completely get that, to a certain extent.
Right.
Um, I think my view on like shorts as well is like I post shorts. I'm not gonna I think my thing is like you can disagree with it, but then I think like of course like a lot of short is like directed towards a completely different audience, right? Like that like
Right.
a child audience content that, for example, me or you probably aren't going to enjoy it, right? Probably aren't going to sit
No.
down and go, this like commentary YouTube short or this Minecraft short is like this is insane, this is great stuff. Like this is
Right.
directed
Yeah.
towards a different audience, so like you can definitely dislike it, but you might not, it might be not just be targeted towards you per se. But I 100% all
Right.
your critiques and stuff for it. um but like I guess it's just like it's a conversation worth having, right? There's a lot to
I
talk
think
about,
so.
with it. Lots of benefits, lots of negatives, just within every genre, right? I think it's worth having a conversation worth having. um and if you don't like shorts, at least there is loads of content on YouTube,
Oh yeah.
especially right now in the moment.
There's still a
um you know
great deal. I just want to say, like, I feel like
mhm,
I've sounded doomer this whole time. There's still great people that make good shit out there. There's still people that even I like take notes from to this day, where it's like,
yeah,
damn, that's some that's like that's a peak I haven't touched yet. That's a
yeah,
mountain I haven't that's a bridge I haven't traveled yet. Because I feel like because I do relate to that as well. Because I definitely the subscribers going up, it's definitely a good motivation. When I initially started blowing up and I had the opportunity to get the plaque, that's when it was like go mode for the most
yeah,
part. So I get it for sure.
100%.
And there's still some good guys out there that make some crazy stuff. I think
Mhm.
it's an interesting time for sure on the web. I don't know. It's a weird time. It is a very I feel like everything kind of flipped back. We were kind of going down this trajectory. I think like not even just YouTube. I'm just talking about on the internet. We were on this like trajectory of being everything was kind of going I want to say I don't want to say politically correct because that sounds like I don't want to sound weird, but I feel like that's like the only kind of way I can describe it. But now it feels like
Yeah,
we're on a hard reverse. Like the last
100%.
2
Yeah,
years, it's been like a fucking full backtrack. We're backtracking. Now it's like it feels like 2016 again with everything going on right now. It's like insulting people's back. The R word is back. Like what is like this was like we were going down this path where like all these things are off limits now.
yeah.
Never
Yeah,
mind.
yeah.
It's reverse. Like it doesn't. So I've been thinking about that too. I've been thinking like, damn, do I need to look into that? I think I've already. But here's the thing though, is I never stopped the that kind of. I don't think I ever stopped that style on my channel. I was inspired by that style initially. So when everything was
Mhm.
flipping back, I stayed on that. I think it worked out good in the end
Well, no,
because
for sure.
my content is like it definitely worked out because I think a lot of it aged well and a lot of it fits in current times, and I think it's just clean enough to where it's not a problem.
Mhm.
Like I haven't said anything insane, like, but there's been some edgy jokes, but nothing too crazy. Like we've kept it pretty low key, but it's like every once in a while there's like a funny joke where it's like it could be deemed offensive, maybe, but even then, I think it's pretty light. But I think that wasn't even a thing. Even being light wasn't even a thing for a while. Now everyone's going back. I think it's just a weird time. It's so weird.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a commentary YouTuber, right? Like, you know, people within the community, and people that make commentary content, that never really changed, right? Like the perspective of, like, you know, the word retard is completely fine to say, right? It's not an actual proper slur, you know, that type of stuff. Very much the perspective of like those type of communities. But I think it just got to a point, and like I'm not like, you know, I'm not saying like woke or that type of shit, right? I'm not like what that, like, you know, anti. But I think it just got to an extent where I guess like people just kind of fed up with, like, you know, the stereotypical person in comments going, you can't say that, you can't say that, you can't do that. And you know, there are some things you definitely can't say, right? Like, of course,
absolutely, there are some shit. Yeah, there's some shit you definitely can't say.
It just gets to a point, right? I think it just got to a point where there were so many like people that were constantly moaning and like trying to control what other people said. That, you know, I think people just kind of got fed up of it online, at least. Maybe not so much in the real world, online, as like
I think in the real world too. I think in everywhere it was. This was a thing we were going down, and everyone's like, "Yo."
I guess it depends where you live, right? So like America, very much like, you know, I think that's going back at the moment. You know, but I guess in the UK, I mean, the UK is always like very different, right? People aren't like, you know, calling like people like slurs on the streets or anything, you know, anything like that type of stuff. I mean, over here, nothing really changed in that perspective. But I think people just became more open-minded. So I guess it just depends where you live, right? You're going to get like a completely different perspective of what's changing, how it's changing. I think online, it's more, you know, because it's more, you know, Americanized online. It's kind of driven by that perspective, driven by what's changing in America or changing in the UK or changing in these other countries. If you live like somewhere completely different, right, you are going to get a completely different perspective of what's going on in like, you know, the real world and how that's changing, if that's going back, if that's going forward, that type of stuff. But especially in the online world, you know, definitely going back to, you know, that very much feeling like 2016, 2017, that type of era online at the moment.
Right. I agree. No, it's I think that was a good way to put it too. It's everyone got tired of being told what to do, and now it's just like, we're gonna do the opposite just because you're saying do this. Just because you're telling us to do something, we're gonna do the opposite because we don't like being told what to do.
Well, it kind of, a good example, right, is like when Dream posted that, again, coming back to Dream, right, fucking, but like, this is just a good example. When he posted that meme calling like Dream or Tommy Knit fans retarded, right, and people like in that community had a mental breakdown. It was just fucking like insane, right, seeing how many people freaked out over the word retard. And you know, the majority of the internet thought they were fucking mental for how they reacted to that. But like you know, I think the Minecraft community to a certain extent, especially certain sections of it, is like a great case study for like people that, like, you know, hate on everything that might just be over the line or toe the line. And then, you know, their favorite, like, they're heavily biased towards other content creators and other people, right? And it's kind of like rules for them, not rules for like us. You know, I think it's just a great case study of, like, you know, why a lot of people just got sick and tired of a lot of like the stuff that was going on online in terms of that. Because you know, I think some great stuff came from it, right? A lot of people, you know, being a bit more open-minded, not so closed off. You know, that's always great, right? People realizing that, you know, there are some stuff you can't say, even if it is just because you would get demonetized on certain platforms and not make any money. You know, some good stuff did come out of it, like, to a certain extent. But you know, I think people just got fed up of being so limited in what they could say, and then having like a whole like hate mob saying you can't say that because we don't like it. You know, I think there's always got to be a reason behind it, right? If you've said something, there's got to be an actual reason that you can't say that, or you've said that in a way that's, you know, actual, like, you know, a reason for me to critique that. You know, that's always my perspective, because, you know, I'm critiquing people, I'm making commentary videos, so that's my perspective. There's got to be a reason for me to call it out. It can't just be, oh yeah, I don't like that, or, you know, that's not, you know, socially conventional or anything like that. There's always got to be like an actual proper reason behind it, and if not, then, you know, it's pretty funny.
True. But
how is that within, like, you know, your scene, within like what you do within content and stuff? Because of course the stuff you do, as like I spoke to Mr. Brick about, is completely different to the stuff I do, right? Not
Right.
everyone's getting involved in that type of content. Hard community necessarily to get into, and try and root yourself down into.
It's niche. It's
Yeah,
definitely niche. That's
exactly.
it's honestly my specialty because that's where I came from initially. I came from a turn that was very niche, and then I kind of blew up into a niche that hadn't seen a lot of growth in a while.
No, for sure.
You had Horizon and Duper, and they're goated for sure. They're pretty much the people. They pretty much founded this shit. I mean, Horizon's the one that got. I think he popularized it for sure. But then Duper is like the Pharrell Williams. He's behind the scenes, like setting up everything. Pretty much 90% of duping videos on YouTube in relation to like pay to win servers, 90% of them, Duper Trooper had some form of involvements, including with my videos as well. So I was doing Unturned for a long time, and it's a dying niche. That game it's horrible what's been going on. The owner, Nelson Sexton, he's just completely destroyed the game and its community as well he's just an idiot. He's just immature for some reason. He's just like, and what sucks is we all saw him as a pretty reasonable guy, a pretty like level-headed guy, like, but in the last few years, and again, there was some weird, I don't even know how to describe it, but his mentality changed. He got way more uptight, and then he just completely nuked his own reputation by pretty much blackballing people that disagreed with him. So that game, this was all something that happened recently. Thankfully, I was able to leave before then, because these people like Nelson, I think to a certain extent, definitely not as much as other people in that community Unturned. There were people like they were out to get me. They were after me. I'm sure some of them still are, because they were just pissed at what I would do, because back then I was way harder on the trolling. It was around so pretty much in Unturned, right? There's like RP trolling. That's like a popular form of content, or it was. I think there's still a market for it even to this day, but there's a market for it, and I took up that market because everyone else left, and the game that everyone they hate trolls. And then I started getting into commentary. I started expanding what I would do in Unturned. So pretty much with Unturned, I did everything, every like available form of content this game has seen before. I would do it, and then I would like perfect it. So I had it on lock pretty much. I had the game on lockdown, and I needed to leave though, because this shit it's a sinking ship for the most part. So I started doing anti-pay to win content around 4 years ago, 4 years ago. And then I was doing it in Unturned. Then I discovered like Horizon and all them. Just Horizon, actually. And then 2 years ago, I decided, I'll do my own. I'll do a Minecraft pay-to-win video. So I did the first one where I crashed the server with boats. And then that one. So what's interesting about that video is it was like dead on arrival. When I dropped it, it was dead. It had no traction whatsoever. The first 100 days, it didn't even crack 10,000 views. But for some reason, like, I want to say, how long was it? I uploaded it in like January. And then by, I think, June, it started picking up.
Yeah.
So I noticed that, and then I took advantage of it. I posted another video. I had one in the chamber, actually. I was working on a second video, but the first one didn't really do that well. So I'm like, I won't delete this video, but I'll keep it in the editor. And whenever I get around to it, or whenever I don't have any content to upload, I'll just make this.
Yeah.
And then I saw that video it started getting more traction a little bit. So then I finished it. That was lagging a server. We lagged like Donut SMP with snow golems. Those videos are kind of rough, but like I was like pumping them out because I was like, dude, this is the only ticket I got out of this damn unturned dead ass game. So I was like, I gotta lock in. So I locked it in. And niche content, I think, is the best thing anyone can do on a channel. Like, that's the best way to like build an audience, because you do a niche, you do it good, you build an audience, they like your stuff, then they like your other stuff, you build a community, and then there's a base, and then from there you can jump up. And then the goal, I think, this is like every YouTuber's goal, is to have people come and watch you in mass just because it's you, not because of the content. A lot of people get viewed because of the content. I'm trying to get viewed because I'm me, and because of the content. I'm trying to do both, actually. But yeah,
Sure.
I don't even know where I was going with that. That was like a whole thing. I like doing these big weaves, and then I bring it back in. But yeah, niche content's good.
No, niche content's great, and like something that you mentioned about trolling, right? Again, just going back to a conversation I had with Mr. Epic when he came on. Is, there's always a balance to find, right, between trying to deliver your message and trying to show what you're putting in the video, and balancing your trolling, balancing what you do, right? So people not only like, if you've actually got something that you want to deliver in that video, people take it seriously and don't, effort their critiques towards you, maybe. How harsh are you with your trolling and the stuff you do in your videos? Like, are you really like far to a certain extent?
There's been a few times where I went too far, for sure, but I'd say there's only one instance. It was this video. I won't lie, it was a really funny video, but it was kind of fucked up. So it was this video. We were on this pay-to-win unturned server, and there was this guy called streaming on the server, and he was like, he had bought a rank on the server, and the price of the rank was the same amount of money that he had gotten in donations, and he got these donations because he was claiming his dog was sick and needed to go to the vet, but his dog wasn't sick, his dog was just pregnant. So he was just kind of milking that, and he was being like this big crybaby, so we trolled the shit out of him. And then so then his mom got involved. This was like a crazy like story. So this streamer guy, and keep in mind, he's like a fully grown man. He's like 25 or something, I think. And he's like this big whiny guy, and we just think he's this big whiny crybaby. His mom got involved too, and she was yelling at us on Discord. Like, it was crazy. And I went really hard on him. I even I called him the R word and shit in the video. Like, I went hard. And then later on, it gets brought up to me by another YouTuber, actually. I won't say his name because he's a dick. But this guy brought up a good point. And he asked the guy that I was trolling had autism.
Oh, no.
I guess pretty low functioning, I guess. And I'm being dead ass. We didn't know. We just thought he was a big whiny bitch. We didn't know he was we didn't know he had problems, so that was fucked up. I deleted the video. I said sorry to him. People still bring this up to this day and try to get me in trouble for it. Like, Z-Man's a bully. He bullied an autistic guy. Like, listen, yes, I did, but that's not the full story. You're making me sound very bad when you say it like that. It was a bad thing, and I am sorry for doing it, but that wasn't the full story. Like, the reason the video was even made is because this guy. And keep in mind, right, I understand he had low functioning autism. We shouldn't really have taken anything he was saying seriously, but keep in mind, we didn't really know he had low functioning autism. We didn't know what he had, so we couldn't be sure. And I don't assume people are mentally challenged immediately, because I think that's kind of fucked up personally. But so I just assumed he was just being a whiny bitch, and I was just treating him like a normal human being. And he threatened to SWAT one of us, and the person he threatened to SWAT was a kid, and he's an adult, and his mom was involved and talking as well. So we're thinking his mom might try to help him, because these people are crazy, we thought. But I got in trouble because it was kind of fucked up, because it was I'm not gonna lie, it was bullying, but it wasn't just bullying to be a dick. We thought he was a wreck, because this is how I troll, pretty much. So pretty much how I troll, I don't just troll people for no reason. That's not how I do trolling. How I do trolling is I only troll people that I think deserve to be trolled. So if you got like an asshole or something, or some guy like that did something stupid, I troll them because I think they deserve to. I think they deserve to be trolled. Some people I think deserve to be trolled to a certain extent, like, and it's benevolent trolling. It's trolling like it was in like 2016, and I know that doesn't make it sound any better because like that was a brutal time, but like it really wasn't too crazy, but it was fucked up. That's the only like mistake I'd say I made though with trolling. That's the only major fuck up. Any like that's the one time we went too far. Every other time I'd say it wasn't too nothing else I've done has been that as crazy as that video. Although it's funny is like that video was fucked up. But again, I think this is more proof of this market that people want this kind of fucked up type of content because everyone loved that video. The only reason that I realized it was a mistake is because, again, this YouTuber, other guy that I won't mention because he's a dick, he brought it up. He went and talked to the guy, brought it up, made it a whole point. And also, this was a guy that I made a video about, so he was already looking to get like a gotcha card on me. So, but yeah, that was like the only time I think I'd ever say that I like really fucked up and did some fuckaroo shit.
Well, like I think it's all about like knowing when to stop, right? When you've gone too far, knowing when to stop, and then if you do go too far, like you said, apologizing, deleting the videos, making an effort to try and show that I didn't mean to go that far, and trying to make an effort to change. I think that's the most important part. That if you do go too far, right, it is about how you do afterwards, right? How you make an effort to change afterwards, how you like make an effort to respond. And then how you move forward, right? Because once you fucked up, everyone fucks up, right? But once you fuck up, it's really important how you move forward. Because if you react badly, you're fucked. Ultimately,
yeah, like if you fuck up for real, you gotta say sorry. And I did. I said sorry to the guy. This is another thing that annoys me because people still bring this video up, and I already said sorry. What else do you want me to do? And this was years ago. This was like 2021, maybe. So what do you guys want me to do? The video's gone. It's deleted. I said sorry to the guy. They're saying he got harassed. They never show any proof though. They just say it. They just say that.
You can. I'm
sure he got some shit. He got some shit for sure. But it's like, come the fuck on. It probably wasn't that fucking bad. Let's be so dead ass. But that's still not an excuse. I did fuck up. But I think I think some people really are dragging that. I mean, this one guy, like the guy I won't say because he's a dick. He still brings this up. I had a screenshot of him actually of like February of last year where he was still bringing this up, and it was like something that happened like 2021.
Yeah.
So it was kind of funny, but yeah, that's the only time I've like fucked up. I'd say it was.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's only so much you can apologize and talk about the situation, right?
Yeah, and also I didn't. Yeah, and they were mad because I didn't like do a public video apology, I assume, but it's like, well, if I did that, that's just bringing more attention towards this guy that doesn't want the attention. I'm just going to apologize to him privately, and then that's going to be all. I'm going to fucking move forward, and I'm not going to make that same mistake I made again.
Well, yeah. At most, like, when it comes to things like that, is, if you either make a small tweet or a community tab, right, you won't make a full video, right, because that's just absurd.
Yeah, that would be good.
Not only does it bring hate to that guy, but you also kind of fuck yourself over, especially if it isn't that heinous, right? And it's just, you're bullying some, like, guy that wasn't all there.
Yeah.
There's kind of levels to things, and how you respond and how you react, because that's the most important bit. And kind of funnily, like, talking about reacting and stuff and, like, responses, I saw you covered, like, the Sunday server stuff, and, like, I've spoken about that a lot on not only this channel, but also my other channels. So I won't bog you down with the details about it too much, because, of course, you've gone over it. Everyone knows about it now. But I do want to ask you, what was your thoughts on his response to it? Like, the changes he implemented to his server, I
think it was good. I think it was very good. No, it was crazy. Pretty much. Dude, it was so funny. I don't know if this was brought up on the Mr. Epic episode. I kind of forget. But it was really funny. The thumbnail that Sunday used for his video responding about the pay to win.
Yeah. His
thumbnail had both of my thumbnails in it.
Did it actually? That's great.
No, in the background, it was both thumbnails that I've used. I made 2 Sunday videos. I did Zerging Sunday's pay to win server, and then I did Destroying Sunday's pay to win server. The Destroying one got like 1 million views, and then the Zerging one got like 250,000. I was surprised by that because Mr. Epic made way more videos than I did, and I think he got way more views than me.
Oh yeah.
Maybe Sunday just thought my thumbnails were funny because I had a thumbnail artist do them. I didn't actually make those. This guy hit me up. He's like, "Y'all." So pretty much, actually, this is the funny story. This is like red string because this actually also goes back to Mr. Epic. The guy that made the Sunday thumbnails for me, he was trying to reach out to Mr. Epic, but Mr. Epic was ignoring him. So I hit him up. I'm like, "Yo, you can make them for me," and he did. And then he made the first one he made for me. It got 1 million views. I'm like, this was the best decision I ever made.
That's great, man.
That was the best. That was the best choice I ever made. Yo, let's have this guy because my 2 biggest videos, I had help with those thumbnails because the thumbnail is the most important part of a video. But
no, for sure.
Yeah, Sunday's response was good. I think Sunday's a good man for that. I think he's an honest man. I think he saw what I said, what Mr. Epic said, and I think, usually how a lot of, I think, YouTubers and big content creators, how they describe or respond, I should say, how they respond to shit like this. A lot of them try to ignore it, try to be snarky and whatever. Like, it's this whole thing. Like, it's happened so many times. Sunday was the first person I've had like an interaction with this on YouTube where it was a point being made and the person whom the point was being made up about decided to listen and actually he listened. He actually did listen, and he removed the gambling, and I think that's kind of cool. I think it was cool he actually responded. I think that's he's a good guy, I'd say he's a good guy. I don't got a problem with him because he removed the problem that was like there was gambling on the server. He got rid of it. It was good.
Well, it shows he genuinely cares, right, about his server.
Yeah.
That he's interested in changing, interested in hearing what people think. He isn't like money driven by it. He wants to make his server the best he possibly can. And, he's seen the critiques, he's seen what people are saying, he's seen, the audience feedback, the pushback, and seen that he needs to make a change. He's implemented that and, gone, I need to make a video, just, quickly talking about it, going through my thought process. And being transparent, which is something that you don't really see from content creators very often, especially when they get so much backlash for a decision. And it just shows that he does genuinely care, and that all round he seems like a pretty decent guy.
He definitely is, because he actually he didn't have to listen. He didn't have to listen. He's big enough to where he could have completely ignored it and it wouldn't have affected him at all. But he actually chose to respond. I think that's a good example of genuineness from a human. If they are able to, if they are able to, how do I put this? He held himself accountable.
Yeah, embraced the criticism, embraced what people were saying about him, held himself accountable, and made a video.
And then he fixed it, and and then at the same time he brought up his points. Like he had a defense. He defended. He's like, the server has to make money. I mean, that's like it's a whole thing, that's what all the server owners say. Let's be so dead ass. Every server owner says, "Oh, well, we got to make money." Okay, well, listen, as a human being who has hosted a server before, now I'm not an expert. I'm sure a big server that Sunday would have to host would probably be a little expensive to run. But I think with the amount of money Sunday probably makes from YouTube, and with the amount of players and the money he already gets from people buying ranks on the server, on top of I think he's fine. And I'd also say, if your boy here, myself, if I had a server, I'd run it out of my own pocket if I could afford it. And if I was as big as Sunday, I know for certain I would be able to afford it. So I would just be running it out of my own pocket. That's just me. He has the right to make money. I'm not mad at him for making money, but I think gambling on the server wasn't good. But he got rid of it. So it ain't even a problem anymore.
And I think that's like a case-by-case basis, right, when talking about like server owners. Is, you know, certain server owners aren't going to be, you know, the wealthiest. You know, they've got to do a lot of things. They've got to make something back to be able to just put it straight back into the server to a certain extent. You know, I think it just comes down to like a person by person, right? If they're a content creator and they're running a server, if they're not, you know, all that type of stuff. Of course, I think, you know, there's just lots of factors that go into it. Of course, I'm not an expert, right? I'm not like, you know, as much in the Minecraft scene in that terms. But, you know, there's lots that go into that, lots of elements that especially like a generalized audience kind of has to consider, right? Instead of like, you know, you're bad. You're bad because you've got things that we can buy, or, you know, all of this stuff. Gambling, of course, I think it goes without saying, right? Shitty, bad thing to have on your server. But everything else, I think it's more of like a, you know, more of a complex conversation to have, which is pretty interesting. For sure.
I think so.
Yeah. And just like, you know, rounding off the episode, man, right? I do want to ask you, going forward with your content and stuff, what's your plans, man?
Well, I did the Content Lawyer recently. That's a show I want to do. What's funny is iDubbbz fucking drops Content Cop again 5 days after I did Content Lawyer. I don't know how the fuck that happened.
It was
and
shit.
His videos suck. Yeah, I know it was shit. So this is my plan. I'm gonna do a Content Lawyer on iDubbbz TV, but I'm not gonna do some bullshit that everyone else is doing. Dude, this is some exclusive shit. I haven't told anyone this. I'm gonna do what he used to do. I'm gonna bully him, but it's gonna be benevolent bullying. I'm gonna do like a skit. I think I might go in the sewer. I got a sewer I can go in. So I'm gonna do the whole bit. I'm gonna go balls to the wall, and I think in the video I'm just gonna shit on everybody. I'm gonna shit on Hassan. I'm gonna shit on H3. I'm gonna shit on iDubbbz. Like, I'm gonna have some jokes. I mean, like Hassan Parker, that guy's a fucking joke. This guy's saying he's like a socialist revolutionary, but in my opinion, if he was really a socialist revolutionary, he'd be giving those millions he has to his fans equally distribute the wealth to your fan base if you're actually a. Because he's not. It's just a fucking ploy. It's a sham. All these people are a sham, and it sucks because like H3 and iDubbbz TV, I watched them both. I was a fan of both channels back in the day. 10 years ago, they were the shit. They were like actually very entertaining. Their videos were very good. These were very level-headed people. They've just completely like fallen down the deep end, both of them. So I think in the video, I'm just gonna like benevolently bully everybody in a comedic way that I think, because this is what people want. This is what the people want to see. They're so tired of this fucking rigmarole of all this bullshit where everyone's trying to act articulate and like, shut the fuck up. Let's bring it back. If we're really reversing, then I'll try to bring it back. I'm going to try and bring back the fucking funny Content Cop commentary where literally the commentary, it's not this Harvard fucking research bullshit. It is researched, but it's comedy. It's satire. It's satirical commentary. This is like a median on YouTube that has like YouTube kind of pulled the plug on it. Then it got saturated. It's just like been a complete downward spiral for the most part. So the plan, I want to try and do it. I want to try and do it. And you know, the Content Lawyer, I wanted to do it anyway. I wanted to do like because I was always inspired by that show. I always wanted to do a spin. I finally was able to do it. I got the equipment. I did it. Everyone liked the video. The first video I did it on for the test of the format, because I wanted to do it and I needed to make a video on this guy anyway. The first episode was on E-Turbo. He's this other anti-pay-to-win YouTuber. So I was thinking, hey, I can do two birds with one stone here. I can do my Content Lawyer idea. I can do like a pilot, and I can do the video on eTurbo. I can do 2 birds with 1 stone. So that's what I did. And, you know, the eTurbo video didn't perform very well. I didn't expect it to, because it's fucking eTurbo. Who fucking even gives a shit about this guy? Like, nobody even knows who he is. So it does, because he's one of those slot people that doesn't really build a real loyal audience. It's just like people kind of watch him because they're bored. So I did the video, and, you know, it didn't do that well. It's like a slow burner, but the amount of like positive replies that I got on that video, I think was probably that was one of the most like loved videos I've done in, I think, a couple years. Honestly, I think that's accurate. It was like, I think that's actually it. I was looking because I was curious. I'm like, what's the like to dislike ratio? But then I noticed this is like my average on my channel, 98.7%.
Yeah.
97.9%. That's kind of interesting. I actually haven't looked at this. I don't look at my analytics very much, actually, because I don't
blame you, man.
I'm afraid if I look at my own analytics too much, I'll like get high off my own supply, and that's not something we can do. So I try not to look, but
yeah,
I am surprised actually when I'm looking at this right now. The shit was good. Everyone loved it. So I'm gonna do that. That's kind of the goal, and then I'm gonna still do the anti-pay to win. I want to take it to Congress, actually.
How would you formulate that? How would you put
well,
that into
so my idea is I would wait, ask me the question again. I'm sorry. The fucking Reapers got me.
How would you formulate that idea?
Oh,
how would you make that come to life?
Well, I think it's possible I could talk to Congress about pay to win, but I wouldn't just talk about Minecraft. I'd talk about pay to win in general. I talk about the problem with gambling, child gambling. I think if somebody brought it to Congress and had, a decent presentation or a decent, little folder they got with some statistics and some bullet points, I think a point could be made, and I think something at that point could be done. So I'd like to do it, and I think if anybody is going to be able to pull off talking in front of Congress, I think I'm a good shot because of I think it's just because of how I already do shit with the Zerg and all that. I've already got a very, like, I've had other people, like my a friend of mine, Archwell CM, shout out to him. He's a chill guy. He was talking to me. He's like, dude, yeah, your channel is like old school because you actually have fans, like, for real. Like, you actually have loyal YouTube viewers that actively want new content. Anything you post for the most part does decently well, even if it doesn't get like in the recommended, like, still a good percentage of your subscribers watch it. Like, and it could be it could be kind of a random subject. I mean, I did the why Unturned's not worth playing in February, and that's like that video did just as well as the pay to win video I uploaded afterward. So it's kind of cool. So I think that's an advantage you can take advantage of. I think I could, if I get the audience big enough, I can get enough national, like, I could get known nationally enough to where I think at that point I could do a thing, get Z-Man to Congress, and then I think I could get there. I'd have to do something big though. But I'm the type of guy where I'll cross that bridge when I get to it, because I don't want to overcomplicate some shit and then overthink it and have it fuck up. I gotta get to where I'm known by enough people in the United States where I can then have enough people maybe write to their local congressman and be like, yo, we want zman1064 to talk in front of Congress about child gambling in video games. And then at that point, then you could potentially something could get done. And even if nothing gets done, even if the Congress people don't do shit, which honestly I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't do anything. I mean, I think only 10% of what people want gets passed, right? Like on average. So, you know, it's a crapshoot, but I think the publicity from that would be enough to maybe shift the fucking doomsday clock a little bit, give us a little more time. Because the fucking gambling online right now, like, just unrestricted, kids can do it. It's like, I don't understand how this isn't criminal. I don't know how people aren't in jail. There's so many. I mean, Duper Trooper's addicted to gambling, and he got addicted through Minecraft. There's so many people, and like people that get addicted, like then there's other complications, suicidal ideation, depression.
Yeah, all the cherry stuff.
You throw all your money away. Like, this is a real problem.
Yeah.
Not just in America, I think in the world today, especially the Western world where games are so readily available. The gambling is just bad. It's just everywhere. It's destroying people every day. No one's doing anything about it. Then you have people like eTurbo who collaborate with the people doing this type of thing. So you just get this slippery slope. So what I would like to do is unslipify the slope by talking to the people who could potentially change it. And even though it's a crapshoot for them to even do anything about it, I think it would be, I'm still going to do it. I don't give a shit. I'm still going up there. I'm going to go up there and talk about it because this is something somebody's needed to talk about for quite some time.
Well, no, for sure, man. And it's good that you've got aspirations, you've got your goals, you're confident with what you want to do, right? And you know what you want to do. And even if it didn't pan out the way you want it to, like you said, you can get something from it in terms of your message was to be pushed out there further, get a bit of traction from it in terms of that. So
that's the whole point. I mean, I get comments like this sometimes because some people don't get it. Some people don't understand the videos. They don't understand. When you crash the server, they just put it back. Like, people don't get. We're not trying to take these servers down forever. That's not the goal. The goal is to showcase, hey, this server's ran by a greedy fuck, pay to win. It's got gambling on it. We're gonna go on there and we're gonna dupe items. Oh, by the way, gambling is bad. Like, we're trying to raise awareness because there needs to be some pushback against this wave of just degenerate gambling that has completely taken over the internet. I mean, you got Stake, you've got pedophile Ash Drake promoting Stake. Like, dude, when Kendrick destroyed Drake, he just became iCarly. Like, he's like, dude, there's just so many fake people. Like, there's so many, like, dude, this is gonna be funny. Like, this will be funny because I think it might get clipped later, potentially. But in my opinion, there's just so many people on this website that don't deserve to have a channel whatsoever. I don't think. Or there's so many people that have careers that just should have everything stripped from them because they're pieces of shit. That's my belief. I'm a little bit, it gets on my nerves. It actually gets on. It actually straight up gets on my nerves, like some of these people.
I guess it just depends what they've done, right?
Oh yeah, I mean,
I wouldn't advocate for deplatformation unless they've done something, horrific.
Exactly, I agree. Like, there's like, no one should be deplatformed unless they do some fuckaroo shit. Now, if they do some fuckaroo shit and apologize, then I think, all right. But if you do some fuckaroo shit and then you don't apologize, and then you double down and do all this shit, then at that point, I think, like, it's okay to maybe be like, hey, maybe we should unsubscribe from this guy,
Yeah. Definitely.
That's what I think so, at least. That's what I was doing with eTurbo. Some people were getting mad at me because I was saying this guy shouldn't have 100K, and people are like, you're just harassing him. But this guy, He harasses people. He's done so many bad things. People try to use his age as an excuse because he's like 17 or something. This is just like, these are one of these things where it just, that doesn't compute, because back in the day when I was in the unturned community, I've been doing YouTube since I was 14. I've made a lot of mistakes in that time. I never brought up age as a defense. If I was 17 and I did some fuckaroo shit, I would have the book thrown at me so hard. It's not even funny. I would get so much shit. And it's deserved. I'm not complaining about it. That's what should happen. If you fuck up, you should get shit for it. It doesn't matter how old you are. I mean, if you're like 8, then sure, you should get a pass. If you're 12, you should get a pass. If you're 15, if you're 18, if you're 20, you should get the book thrown at you, I think.
I mean,
a little bit.
I guess it just depends what you're doing, right, at that age, right? Like again, right, I think there's a few factors. Growing up, that type of stuff. Your age, I think it depends what situation you're looking at, what they've done, what they're tackling, what they're doing. You know, I think there's just variation factors. And then when it comes to like, you know, the people's channels or whatever, you know, my rule of thumb is, you know, never send your audience over to do anything, right? Even if it's as harmless as like, you know, leave a dislike or, you know, anything like, because I think it just opens, you know, the world up to, you know, that can be seen, even though you might not see that, or someone else might not see that. It can be seen as harassment in terms of, you know, YouTube's guidelines. A lot of other people.
Well, I did look it up.
Your way.
I did look it up. I looked it up on Google, and I will say it was the Google AI answer, but Google owns YouTube. It's pretty much the same company. So I'm pretty much asking the same company, or the parent company, hey, can I tell people to unsubscribe from another YouTuber? You can. It's not against the rules. You can do it. I do agree it could be seen as harassment. So, for example, like I was telling people to unsubscribe from eTurbo. I've done it a few times, just a few. I'd say if I had to count, shit, actually, it might be like 8 now, maybe 10. I don't know, but like one was in a video, and then some were like in community posts. I mean, my channel still exists, so I don't think that, and it wasn't for no reason. I have a whole video where I go over it for like fucking 20 minutes, where it's all the shit this guy did. I mean, he was like selling dupes that weren't his. He false striked people on YouTube. He faked videos. He manipulated this kid by saying he was going to kill himself if he didn't help him get dupes. Like, he was doing a lot of fuckaroo shit. That's the only reason why I told people to unsub.
Yeah, I get that. Like, definitely, like, you know, from what I've heard from this girl, not exactly like, you know, all-round great person. I think my rule of thumb, again, this is just coming from commentary, but like, again, completely different community, right? Completely different perspective on things.
Well, I'm interested because the commentary people are more familiar with the, you know, how this shit works. So, like, let me, like, do you think I'm invalid for telling people unsubscribe from eTurbo? I mean, let me know. Like, I'll maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. I did it because I just think I just don't think people should be subscribed to this guy when he's going to be doing all this bad stuff.
Well, like my view on it, and like I think the consensus is that you should never, like, regardless of what it is, right? Even if they are the worst people, right? I think you should kind of like leave open to interpretation, right, for what they should do, right? If they're that bad, then realistically they should just go over and do that anyway, right? Without you telling them. I think actively telling people to go over to that person's channel, regardless if it is just unsubbing, right? Like, you know, telling people to do that, it's not the worst thing. But just, I think it sets a bad precedent, right? Telling people to go over there to unsub or doing certain things, right? Because then you're sending people actively over to their channel to do something. Where, you know, if they're that genuinely that bad, and you go, this person's done this person's done that, you know, shit on them and make jokes, of course, and do all that great stuff. Then realistically, if they are genuinely that bad, the large majority of people will go over and unsubscribe or, you know, stop watching the content, you know, that type of stuff. I think just telling people actively to go over to someone's channel can lead down a rabbit hole. And of course, you said, you know, YouTube haven't like banned you or whatever for sending people over.
I mean, hey, who knows?
Yeah, it's just not something you would want to risk. You know what I mean? You know,
I did look it up, and it did say it's not against the rules, but that is true. It could be a slippery slope for sure. It could actually be a slippery slope.
It's kind of like, if they're that critiquable, you just don't want to be the person that gets critiqued for critiquing them in like a unjust way in terms of that, right? Because, you know, someone can open up and go, look, like, you're sending these people over to that guy's channel, right? You're opening up, because realistically, you've got to think as well. Like, if you're sending people over to someone's channel, even just to unsubscribe, there's always that huge possibility that they might, depending on what you say in the video, right, do more than that. And realistically, you don't want to be the person that sends them over. You kind of just want to, like, say what they've done, make jokes and all that good stuff, and then kind of let them do whatever they want from there. Because then at that point, you can't control them, and people can't go back and say, look, well, you sent them over, right? You did this, you did that. I think it's just like a whole can of worms, which not necessarily like, telling people to unsubscribe is like the worst thing ever. But I think, like I said, just, a bit of a slippery slope to go down.
No, I agree. It was definitely it was definitely an unorthodox little strategy I decided to do. I don't think it's not common. I don't think it's common for someone to tell people to unsubscribe from someone, but like, I think that was also kind of why I did it, because it was just such a thing that no one does. I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be bold and be like, yeah.
Like,
you should unsubscribe from this guy, because he's on some fuckaroo shit. And I think, what's crazy is I think a decent amount of people actually did.
Like, I think my view is just like, I wouldn't recommend it. Like, of course, nothing stopped. Like, I'm not going to sit there and go, actually, you can't do that, right? It's none of my business, right? Realistically, unless something actually bad happened from that, right? Or you were saying, go over and do this, do that, and it was more than unsubscribing, right? It was like, leave this comment or report this video. That type of stuff that you see a lot online. That's genuinely something to critique. But no one's going to stop.
I never told anyone to dislike or comment or anything,
or like flag.
But it was like, no. But I'm like, going on. I think out of, you're right, it's a slippery slope, but I'm thinking about it. Out of everything you can tell your audience to do, I think just telling people to unfollow.
It's the most tame, 100%. Yeah,
it's the most tame. I'd say I tried to keep it a little tame, but you're right though. It is a little bit of a slippery slope. I probably won't be looking at doing that type of strategy again. I think eTurbo is going to be the only guy that I do that with, just because. He really is like got some evility to him. I don't even know if that's a word. Evility, evilness. He's got some evilness to him. So that, like, I'm gonna stick to my guns on that. But like, for example, if I do like the content lawyer iDubbbz, I'm not gonna tell people unsubscribe from iDubbbz. I'm just gonna like kind of make fun of him a little bit, maybe malevolently, and that's it. Just poke fun.
Put him a cock, that type of stuff.
Oh, maybe like, hey, that joke's like, oh, that's like. Everyone said that. I want to be. I'm gonna go in. I will throw it in there, but it's gonna be a side bit. I'm gonna do some main bits where it's like shit that no one else is. Like, I don't want to do the same thing everyone else has done.
No, for sure.
Do something funny. But yeah, it's a good ass time. The YouTube thing. I've been having a good ass time, actually.
It's been great recently, man. Yeah, it's been really good. Fun times to make content at the moment. Really fun time. Past like year and a bit, from at least, again, commentary perspective. Loads of topics, loads of stuff happening. Been fun. It's been great. So, loads of stuff going on right now to make content on and do stuff with. No, I can't complain.
Oh yeah.
Can't complain.
Yeah, it's lit. It's a good ass time. I've been having a good time. I don't know. It's just so the whole thing is still so surreal to me, because I was so small for so long. Like, I don't even think it's been a full 2 years, I should say. I don't even think it's been a full 2 years. It'll be a full 2 years in May since I started doing the Minecraft thing kind of full time, as opposed to Unturned, because I did the content switch. But I was doing Unturned for like, shit, I gotta go down and even look and see how long. Okay, so my first Unturned video was 8 years ago, and then I stopped doing it full time just under 2 years ago. So it was like 6-7 years of doing that. And in that time, I mean, from 2015, when I made the damn channel, August 2015 to now, or to like, here, let me look. Like in May of 2023, I only had 10K. I wasn't even a thing. I wasn't even like no one even knew me. People knew me in Unturned. That was it. I was famous in that game. That was it. Then I got out. It's been a good time since then. I'll say that. It's been a very good time. Well, yeah, because Unturned was like, it just got old, and the game dev is just a moron. So I'm glad I left. No, I'm blessed. It's a good ass time. Shit, I've been on like a fucking tangent for a while. My bad.
It's all good, bro. It's all good. Padding out the episode, you know, it's funny, bro. I was thinking, like, you know, what was it, like 20 minutes ago? I was like, you know, I'm gonna start wrapping up the episode, but you know, we're padding it out, right? You know, doesn't harm anyone. You know, it's great.
Truth.
You know, more the merrier. But I guess we will start wrapping it up now, and I do really appreciate you coming on TRASHTALK. You know, reaching out, want to come on the podcast. Always really appreciate that. Bro. I think we've had a pretty good conversation, and I hope everyone watching, you know, thinks so too. And everyone watching, I really do appreciate you like watching today's episode of TRASHTALK. I've been here with a very special guest, and I will catch you in the next episode of the TRASHTALK podcast.